love to be better presenters by the time we finish our session today. Go ahead and let me see you, okay? And how many people here understand that communication works for those that work at it? Yeah, let me see you? Okay, good. So I can promise you this, you will be a better presenter by the time we finish the session today if we do one thing together, if we fully engage. What's the word, please?
Engage.
Okay, awesome. And if we're ready to play at a level 10, now I want you guys to do me a favor. Go ahead and put your hand on your heart and say, I'm ready to play at a level 10 today.
I'm ready to play at a level 10 today.
Okay, and that was about a 7, so let's try it one more time. Go ahead, everybody, put your hand on your heart and say, I'm ready to play at a level 10 today.
I'm ready to play at a level 10 today.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, listen, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge you for being here. You know, there's a saying, and it goes a little something like this. It says that 85% of success is just one thing. It's just showing up. Thank you. Now, I can't reach all of you, but I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to go ahead and reach out both hands, turn to your neighbor, give them a pat on the back, and tell them, congratulations for being here. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
He's through it.
You guys are a great crowd. Now, today, let's go ahead and kind of cover the objectives here. Today, we're going to learn why we fear public speaking in the first place. You know, why would someone rather be in the casket than to deliver the eulogy? You know, why is this the number one fear? Has this bugged anybody other than me here? You know, why do people fear public speaking? So we're going to demystify what the actual culprit is. After that, we're going to learn a strategy that will allow you to always know what to say when you're in front of a group, so that if you're presenting at a board meeting, or perhaps you're presenting to a client, or maybe you're just looking to energize a team, you're always going to know what to say by overcoming the mental blocks that are associated with giving a presentation. And then we're going to learn how to deliver like a pro. Like a what? Pro. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. Now, before we get started, would it be okay if I just tell you guys a little bit about my background so you get an understanding of why I came here to talk to you about this topic today? Would that be okay with everybody here? Yeah. Okay, so my name is Ariel Ghinga, and I am originally from Romania. Now, I came here in 1983. In 1983, Michael Jordan was a rookie, so I instantly fell in love with basketball. But I want to kind of take you guys back a little bit, because in Romania, the communist country back in 1983, it wasn't as easy as saying, okay, let's go like the movie Coming to America, let's go to America. No, there was only 2 ways to escape from the communist regime. One of them was to swim across the Danube River and risk getting shot. And I'm sad to say that a lot of good, innocent Romanian people lost their life in the Danube River. The second way was to do what's called a political revolt against the government, where my father decided to go with the second option. For 35 days, he did not eat anything at all. So after the 35th day, the Romanian embassy finally said, go to America and never come back. That's exactly what they told us. So I got here, you know, and basketball was awesome. That's the first thing I saw was a game between Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. You guys remember the Human Highlight film? Absolutely. And so it was a good outlet for me. Now, does anybody here have a sport that you were completely obsessed with when you were young? Anybody? Okay, I was the only one. But basketball was a good outlet, but this whole introverted lifestyle caught up with me at the age of 17. When I had to do a presentation for a geography class. And I remember to this day, I was presenting on the country of Colombia, and I had the coolest poster, I had all the statistics, everything ready to go. But when it came time for me to speak, and I got up in front of the class, this is what I said to my classmates. Crickets, deer, headlights, not a hello, not a joke, absolutely nothing. So I sat back down, and I was, my heart just pounding. I was angry, I was mad, I was embarrassed. But I did something very important on that day in that trailer at Meadow Creek High School. I made a decision. A what, please?
Decision.
A decision that today I'm going to do something about it. I didn't even know what that meant. I just said no one should feel this bad about getting up and speaking to a group of people. So I made that decision. And later that day, I found myself going to the public library, and it was at that library that I got introduced to my first mentor. His name is Tony Robbins. Now, anybody has not heard of Tony Robbins? Okay, one person. So Tony Robbins became a mentor to me, and I took all his tapes, his books, and I brought them back home. And for the next 8 hours, I just listened to Tony's material. He was talking about tapping your full potential, beliefs govern your destiny. And so I just listened, and I decided to sign up for my first Tony Robbins seminar at the age of 17. And I tell you this because at the age of 17, at that seminar, I discovered my life's purpose. Tony kept asking us questions like, what's your why? What's your assignment? What's your reason for being here on earth? He kept asking us. And for me, it became glaringly obvious that my reason, my why, was to someday be a public speaking coach and teach people the thing that I feared the most. And so it's been many, many years, and the PDG Personality Development Group program has, we've had the fortune of coaching many professionals from a lot of companies that you may recognize, places like IBM, we work with the Navy, the AJC, Hilti, many, many others, but it's been a journey. It's been a very long journey, and I tell you guys this because I want you guys to understand that I learned this, from mentors, from different programs, but mostly from my own experience, and that's usually the best teacher. So I'm really, really passionate about this topic. Now, today I only have probably about 45 minutes with you, and in these 45 minutes, I'm going to give you all I can. I'm going to teach you guys every technique that we can in 45 minutes. And then for those of you that want to take your training further, I promise to create an opportunity for you to do that. Does that sound fair to everybody here? Sure. Okay, awesome. So, well, I think the first thing I want to find out is let's gauge the competency level, or how do you see yourself as a public speaker? So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself as a public speaker? 1 being like I was when I was 17 years old, absolutely petrified. And 10 being whoever your Tony Robbins is, someone who you consider a level 10 speaker. So think about that for a second. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate yourself? Okay, and everybody have your number? Okay, so everybody do me a favor, go ahead and stand up. Thank you. And when I call your number, go ahead and have a seat, please. So did anybody rate themselves a 1? How about a 2? How about a 3? What about a 4? Okay, 5. Remember, this is self-rating. 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Wait, let's go ahead and give it, everybody, give it a round of applause. I appreciate that. I think we learn more by interacting and participating. So my question to you is this. If whoever didn't say that they're a level 10, and by the way, this is your level 10. It's not, everybody has their own belief of how they're going to be able to present when they get up in front of an audience. Your self-image as far as a presenter. So if you didn't rate yourself a 10, my question is, why not? Let's go ahead and identify what's keeping you from a 10. And for this part of the exercise, I am going to need I'm going to need someone that doesn't have to be a great writer, but that knows how to take direction. I'm going to need a marker lady. Anybody wants to be a marker lady, please? It's going to be very short. I promise I'm not going to put you on the spot here. All right. Appreciate that. Okay, so on the one side, we're going to write mental blocks. Appreciate it. Mental blocks. And on the other side, we're going to write physical blocks.
You want to do this today?
Awesome, awesome.
Said Margaret and Nate.
And then, so let's kind of get an idea here. Let's kind of get an idea. Okay, what's keeping you from a 10? If you didn't give yourself a 10, throw out some, some people say, well, I lose my train of thought, or I get real uptight, I can't, my gestures become... So you guys throw out some things. What's keeping you from a 10? Verbalize that for me. Okay, in the back.
Sometimes I find it, even if I know my material inside out and backwards, and I'm also a singer, and sometimes I've known a song since I was a child, and there are times when I could go out there and I'm, just right on, and other times I forgot the song.
Okay.
Or I forgot the material.
Great. So would that be, so when you forget the material, would that be a mental block or a physical block?
Mental.
Mental block. So say, forget material. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, there we go right there.
I start to count my own
Okay. So would that be a physical block, like rapid heartbeat, or sweaty palms, or would that be more of a mental block? What do you guys think? More of a mental, okay, so.
Count
Yeah, because you're inside your head, you're thinking about, okay, excellent. Any others? Yes, right there.
Sometimes even though I don't act nervous, my inside nerves make my voice shaky.
Voice shaky, okay, now would that be a physical block or a mental block? Physical, very good, very good. We have a very, so far you guys are 3 for 3. Okay, any others? Why didn't you give yourself a 10? Okay, right here.
I need more practice.
Need more practice, absolutely. Definitely need more practice. But let's go ahead and kind of, say, okay, what is it that I need more practice on, right?
I think it's confidence, because if you do it, even if you're not confident in it all the time, you lose confidence in yourself.
So confidence, I guess we can put that in the mental block. So let's just take two more. Any others that you said, hey, this is the reason why I didn't give myself a level 10? Yes, right there.
I started in public speaking after being a writer, and so a lot of times if I have a prepared speech, I try to make it exactly what I prepared because I made it so perfect to begin.
Yes.
And I have a hard time improvising. And I
So,
can't make it the exact perfect
Trying to
word I
memorize,
can
trying to
do.
stay to a script, that type of thing. So that would be more of a mental type of block where you're literally trying to memorize your speech. Okay, and we'll take one last one. Yes.
I care what people think about me.
Okay, would that be mental or physical? Mental. Okay. And then maybe put self-confidence or other people's perception. Awesome. Very good. And go ahead and give a big round of applause for our very own Vanna White. All right. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and kind of take a look at this. I'm really wondering, what is it that causes you to have these, hey, I forget what I'm going to say. I have these physical blocks. Sometimes people say, sweaty palms, rapid heartbeat. There's different kinds of manifestations. So these are all the symptoms. But if you have the symptoms of let's say, cancer or disease, would you now want to know what the actual root of the problem is, right? So I want to find out what is it that is causing this fear of public speaking. And it's one word, and it's one of the words that I'm sure everybody here knows. Who here knows what that word means, right? Okay, so this is another word for adrenaline dump, right? The adrenaline rush or the dump. Let's say for a second, right? And I hope this never happens to anybody. This is just for illustration purposes. But let's say for a second that it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're walking to your car. Maybe you're coming from a cocktail party, and perhaps you're parked in kind of a dark alley street, and you're walking, and all of a sudden there's a man with a ski mask pointing a gun at your temple. Now in that moment, what happens? This chemical epinephrine gets released. People say they can't think straight. People say sometimes they forget their own name. They lose control of their fine motor skills and all kinds of the manifestations of this chemical called epinephrine. Now let's take this illustration a little bit further. Let's say that this is a Navy SEAL. He's walking to his car. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, gun pointed at his head. Now, my question to you is this. Would the chemical be released in the brain of a Navy SEAL that has been in Navy SEALs for 25 years, hand-to-hand, combat expert? Would that chemical be released? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. Now, the thing is this. The Navy SEAL, I'll give it to the Navy SEAL, I'd say 99% of the time. Why? Because of starts with the T, their training, absolutely. So we're going to actually go into that training right now, but first of all, we wanted to find out what is it that's causing all of these symptoms. It's a simple word called, what's it called? Epinephrine. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a very quick look here at the Overcome the Mental Blocks #1 tool that will eliminate the problem for as far as like writing out your speech. You're never going to have to do that ever again. You're going to see the bubble map right there in your handout. So here's what we want to do. The first thing is I want you guys to understand the concept of table and legs. So usually when we have a table, how many legs do we have that support that table? 4. Now, let's say that one of the legs is wobbly and the table only has 3 legs. Will the table fall? Most tables, if it has 3 legs, will it fall? Not really, right? It's going to be a little shaky, but it won't fall. So the whole concept of the bubble map, and can everybody see, by the way? Yes? Okay. Okay, the whole concept of the bubble map is we start off with a leg for the opener. Now, legs equals evidence. Everybody say that one time. Say legs equals evidence. Okay? And tables equals points. Right? Tables equals points. Okay, I want you guys to remember that. Because a point, a table, is supported by the evidence, by the actual legs themselves. So let's give examples of the different types of legs. For the opener, we're going to put a leg over there to start. Different kinds. Questions. That might be a good way. The way I started off today, I said, how many people here would love to become better presenters? Right? That's a question. We have personal story. I could have started off my presentation by, personal story. It was 2007. I found myself at a crossroads in my career. Blah, blah, blah. I could have kept on going, right? Personal story. Observational story. I was watching Anderson Cooper the other day, and he had a very interesting guest. So that's something that didn't happen to me, but I observed it either on TV, in a book, maybe a hair salon. I overheard a conversation. So observational story. Statistics. Did you know that 85% of your financial success is connected to one thing, and that's your ability to stand and deliver in front of a group? So that's a statistic, right? I could have started my presentation like that, correct? We have also quotes. Warren Buffett said that the best investment he's ever made was investing in his ability to speak to people, which he did at the Dale Carnegie School. If you ever Google, Warren Buffett on public speaking, you'll see a little video. This is coming from the world's greatest investor. He said that's the best investment he's ever made. So we have quotes, expert opinion. Donald Trump said that, most businesses will fail. 7 out of 10 businesses will fail within the first 3 years. Expert opinion, case studies. They did a very interesting study at Google. And what they found out was, so we're not going to actually go into the examples, but you guys can kind of get an idea here. Statements, you can say, I don't know, this is just for a joking purpose, but men are much bigger liars than women. It's a statement. It's not a question. It's not a statistic. It's just a statement, right?
It could be a personal observation.
An observation. And then we have visuals, right? Your PowerPoints, your handouts, your easel pads, anything that you can make as a visual, it also helps to support that table, right? So far, everybody with me so far, right? So we choose a leg to plug into the opener. There's no right or wrong. All legs are good. Then, turkey legs, duck legs, chicken legs, Thanksgiving is coming right around the corner. So we're at the buffet. Don't think that questions are better than personal story. They're all equally good. Okay, then we go into preview. So far we have a sequence here. Opener, preview. Preview is simply, hey, today's objectives. I'm here to talk to you about, and you simply give them the tables that you wrote down as points. Usually you want to keep it to about how many points when you're giving a presentation? Right, about 3, right? So you'll notice that I have how many tables? 3. Okay, so we go back to objectives. That's your preview. Hey, today I'm here to talk to you about, and you just simply name off the tables, what the tables are. And then something called the ETA stands for earn the right. Really, that's just another fancy way to say that's your background. How did you earn the right to be speaking on this topic? What kind of training have you had? So the audience wants to know that, right? Before they start listening to what you have to say on the topic, how did you get to be there? So far we got opener, preview, ETA, and then you literally go into your first table. Hey, let's talk about the first concept that I want to cover today, which is why do we fear public speaking, right? So the question is why, and then I have some legs to support it, right? So far it makes sense, right? Now, again, where do we get the legs from, the evidence? Right? You can choose any of these. Now, I kind of ran out of room. There's more ways to support a point, but I've given you the most common ones, I would say. So you literally take 4 of these legs, say, oh, I think I'm going to ask a question right there. I think I'm going to help ground this particular story or particular point with a story. Oh, a statistic would be great here to really help them. Maybe a case study in the corporate world, case studies. So now, boom, you got your first table supported. So far, so good? Yeah? Okay. Now, can you guys see how if you do this all the way down towards the end, and when you get down to review, right before you get to the close, you so preview, so you literally just say, hey, today we talked about overcoming the mental blocks, we talked about overcoming the physical blocks, and then we also gave you guys a little insight as far as why people fear public speaking. So you literally just repeat the tables, that's the review, and then you close. And when you close, you simply choose one of the other legs again. I'm going to leave you with the quote, I'm going to leave you with the story, I'm going to leave you with etc. So this is a very easy way so that you don't have to memorize a speech or even write out a speech. Think about it. How many people here have GPSs on their phones? Just about everybody, right? Now, when the GPS lady tells you, go on 85 south, do you actually see the word on your screen that says 85 south? Or do you see, what do you see? A picture, a blue picture of 85, right? So this is actually a better way to know where you're going, the roadmap, than to actually write out your presentation. And I know a lot of people will see this, and they'll still go back to their comfort zone and say, well, no, I'm just very used to writing it out. But I'm telling you guys, you want to be coming up here and speak from the heart. And we're going to get a chance to actually give some people an opportunity to, try out some of this stuff in just a little bit. I know you guys are very anxious to do that. So hold your horses. We will. Let's talk a little bit about, now does this make sense? Is everybody with me so far? The mental blocks? Yes? Okay. And now let's talk a little bit about the physical blocks. Sometimes people, they know exactly the roadmap. They know what they're going to say. But have you ever noticed they come up here and maybe they'll feel very stifled. They don't seem to move. Their voice is very low, and it's like all these physical manifestations. So let's go ahead and start looking at some of this. Voice. Now, to make it really, really simple, I want you guys to think of your voice, and when you're giving a presentation, in 3 different voices. So you have your high voice, you have your medium voice, and you have your low voice. right? So as you're presenting, sometimes you want to go ahead and speak in your high voice. Now this is your voice, that's your preacher voice, your coach, you're the trainer, you're inspiring the team. You're going to get a little loud. You know, you might even make the microphone guy a little upset because you're too loud in his ear. But that's your high voice, right? The medium voice, that's more the instructional, conversational type of voice. But then haven't you ever noticed how sometimes somebody made you mad? You're like, man, I can't believe you did this to me. We've been best friends since the age of 13. How could you burn me like that? What happens to your voice? It actually goes down, right? So we want to have three, how many? Three different voices when we come up here and we present. So that's the first tip for overcoming the physical blocks. Just by varying your vocal tempo, that's going to automatically help you to be more free when you come up here with the use of your instrument. Then we have something that we call spacing. Now in our training, we cover 15 of these. Today we're just going to go through 3 of them, just kind of give you guys an idea. So we have spacing. Now, again, let me kind of draw this out here, just so you get a very good understanding. Okay, we have, for the voice, we have high voice, medium voice, low voice. That's a triangle. And then we also have for the actual spacing, so we got voice and spacing, we got 1, 2, 3. I try to make everything very easy to remember, because if I give you an esoteric concept and then you don't remember it, it's no good. So basically, I want you guys to remember it. So by remembering the picture of the triangle, it'll probably sink in a little bit. Okay, so we want to vary. Think of the stage. Here's the audience right here. Think of the stage by having 3 different points on the front line and then 1 in the back. So spacing is the concept. You're talking to this side of the room, right, on one point. I'm coming over here. I would stay more in the center, but the light. Okay, but then you're coming over here talking to this side of the room, right? And then also, sometimes you want to get the crowd involved. The theatrics of it, right? So now you're kind of going back towards the point. You don't want too much theatrics when you're too close to the audience. I think a lot of this stuff, it makes sense, but the thing is that when we come up here, that's what I'm going to be looking for. That's what we're going to be coaching on, is the actual use of these 3 concepts. The voice, the spacing, and then let's go ahead and take a look here at something that we call, a lot of times people say, well, Ariel, I get all that, spacing, yeah, you gotta move on stage, okay, but how do you get the audience to be more engaged, that crowd participation? So would you guys like to learn how to get maximum crowd participation today? Yes? Yes. Okay, very good. So I'm gonna give you guys very simple techniques. You've probably used them all, but now let's have it in a way to where it's all written down. So get them to move. Get them to what? Move. To move, right? What did I say? I said, turn to your neighbor. Give him a high five. Give him a high five, right? I said, hey, everybody stand up. I said, everybody put your hand on your heart, right? So you get the audience to move. So it's not a lecture, but it's more of a engaging conversation where the audience is very much engaged. Then we have, get them to repeat. That's right, get them to repeat. So I'll say, how many times? 3. How many? So I'll ask you guys to, what's the word, please? Engaged. Get them to repeat. That way, they're going to be a little more involved and engaged as far as what's happening. Next one is fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. So, I'll say things like 85% of success is just one thing. It's just see, and the audience fills in the blank. Well, what if you incorporate that same exact technique into your presentation, right? So it doesn't just become a lecture, but now you're actually giving the audience a chance to participate as well. So we have a couple of different ways. And then my favorite is questions. Questions. Everybody go like this. Go like this. Say questions, hook the mind. Everybody? Okay, very good. So you want to ask a lot of questions. Does that make sense? See? So you want to ask a lot of questions. so that people are they're following. Are you guys willing? Everybody want to play at level 10? That type of thing. Always keep them engaged, right? So far, so good? Okay. And then I wanted to go ahead and stop talking about public speaking from a trainer's perspective, but to actually give the audience a chance for the remainder of this class. I want it to be more interactive. I actually want to give you guys a chance to come up here and look, guys. This is a practice session, right? It's I don't want anybody to think, oh, I have to be perfect. No, this is a coaching moment, and believe me, if you come up here, you're going to learn some things. No matter what level you gave yourself earlier, my goal is to move the needle just a little bit, get you to maybe, if you gave yourself a 4, maybe get you to about 5 or 6 today. So let's go ahead and just for a couple minutes, I want you to go ahead and turn to your handout. There is a page, I think it's page 3, where there's a blank bubble map. Okay. Think about the legs. Right? I'm going to go back. Think about the legs, and first thing I want you guys to do is title your speech, your presentation. Now, I want this to be something that you would actually give to an audience. So think about maybe a civic organizations you're involved with, perhaps at your job, even if you don't present. There's some people say, well, Ariel, I never do public speaking. I don't even know, so I don't know what I was talking about. Well, what's something that you're good at? What's something that you could teach, right? So really think about, okay, what is it that I could speak on? Go ahead and give it a title. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. We're just going to crash course right through this little exercise here. But I really don't want you guys kind of overthinking it. So give it a title, something that you could talk about. Maybe you're good at marketing. I could teach about the 3 tables, the ABC of how you perceive effective marketing. You got the title. And then what I want you guys to do is think about 3 tables that you would actually go ahead and include in your presentation. So just think about, hey, what's 3 points that I could make? Let's say it's marketing, the common mistakes that most businesses make when it comes to marketing. That could be table 1, right? So give yourself and keep it again. Remember, I-85, not a lot of words, more like 1 word, why, where, 1 to 3 words. You guys are just a couple of seconds to do that. If you don't got the opener yet, let's go ahead and focus on the tables themselves and just give it a title so that we know what we're talking about. Who here is finished already? Too fast. Okay, raise your hand if you have at least table 1 complete. Okay, you got your table 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep moving. We're going to keep moving. You guys will get a chance to do this a little bit later, but you'll see how this works a lot better than writing out your presentation. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to come up with a what? Opener! Okay, so we have a lot of different choices here, right? You want to think about for your audience, for your topic, saying, okay, well, what do I want to, which leg do I want to implement? Do I want the turkey leg? Do I want the duck? So think about, do I want the questions? Maybe I want to start, oh, I know this good statistic. Oh, I'll start off with that. Or I was watching an interview think about it. And again, 1 to 3 words in your blank bubble, 1 to 3 words. You know, very good, very good. Who has the opener already? You kind of thought about it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at least you thought about it, right? Okay, good, good. It might be a personal story that fits with the topic. So now, think about, okay, Ariel said to come up with an opener. I think I kind of have that, even if maybe I haven't written it down yet. I understand the concept. Choose one of the legs to open the presentation with. Then, we give them the preview, which is simply saying what the tables are. Okay, today we're going to talk about table 1, 2, 3. And then the ETA, that's the easiest part. You just talk about your background. You know, why is it that you love marketing? Why is it that, you know, why do you have the current position that you do in regards to your job? So you talk a little bit about your background. You know, hey, the reason I'm talking about this topic today is because da-da-da-da-da. You just give a little bit about your background. This part is easy. Everybody can pretty much grasp that. And we're really not going to focus on, you know, giving the whole presentation just for the purposes of time. But I do want to at least go ahead and do the opener, the preview, the ETA, the table 1, and then just a couple of legs that we're going to use to support that table as we do our live practice session. And don't worry, I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to kind of coach you through it. You know, when you come up here, so if you feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say, we're gonna coach you through it, and my audience is going to also be right there. So here's the thing. I don't know, how are we doing on time? Okay. So who would love to come up here and say, you know what? I want to be the guinea pig. I mean, maybe I was a 5, and I want to come up to a 7, and this is my opportunity to do that. Who would love to be that brave soul that says, you know what? I'll try it. I don't know what you're looking for, but I'll try it. I guess you'll coach me through it. So anybody that says, hey, that's me. I want to give it a shot. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Okay, so what we're gonna do then?
I'll do it.
Okay, there we go. Great. Microphone. All right. And what's your name, sir?
My name's Randy Hill.
Randy. My name is Ariel. All right. Now, Randy, you're gonna go ahead and take the mic here, and again, we're gonna kind of coach you through it. But go ahead and just start based on what you've learned so far in the session. Go ahead and 3, 2, 1.
Hey, my name's Randy Hill, and I work with Planters EMC down in Millen, Georgia, and I'm glad to be here with you. Can you put a big circle up? I want you to get moving here and put a big circle up there. Okay, we're at the top of the circle now. All right, I'm from the bottom of the circle. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm located in Georgia. So now, what I'm here to talk to you today is about safety. I know all of us is concerned about safety, and we all go to schools and do presentations, and it's really important about safety. It's so important that it could save your life, or save a life of a friend, or
okay, very good, Randy. And now let's just go ahead and apply some of this concepts that we learned so far. And just remember that triangle that's with the spacing. So remember, you got 3 different sides, 3 different points, and then 1 in the back, as far as so you can move around a little bit. So go ahead and take it from where you are. Safety to save your life.
Okay. All right.
Watch your step.
So I'm here to talk to you about safety. And it's, I want you to get something from this program today. I want you to be safe, and I never want you or a family member to be hurt by electricity. Electricity does a lot of good things for us. It gives us light. It gives us heat. It gives us air. And a good, nice, hot shower.
Great.
But it's got to be respected. It's got to be respected.
And now maybe perhaps weave in a personal story or something that would just help to kind of ground that first point. But really the things that I'm going to be looking at right now is the concept of using the 3 different voices. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So okay, so it could save your, take it from where you were. It's a practice session.
Okay. It's also a learning experience because I didn't write down what I was talking about. My main points here were actually kites. How many in the room like to fly kites? Raise your hand. Right. I love them too. As a matter of fact, my daughter and I was out flying a kite the other day. Would have been good if we had some wind. But the most important thing when you're flying a kite, other than picking the kite, is where do you fly it? Steve, where do you fly your kite?
I like to fly my kites in open fields away from power lines.
Wow, Steve. How about you come up here and help me with this presentation?
All right, everybody get ready. A big. Okay, who wants? Maybe we have time for one more. Anybody say, you know what? I'll try it. I'll come up here for a little bit.
Oh, come on now. Come on. Go ahead.
Everybody?
Who's next?
Yes. We got one more. One more. Nobody wants to.
How about Mr. Nine?
How about a woman doing it?
Hey, a woman's already done it.
Mark right for you.
It's great.
Okay.
What's your name?
Hey, I'm Steve Chalker. I have Tourette's, so I cuss a lot. Clap.
So we're going to start with your opener. You know, which one of the legs that you chose to kind of start to.
So I need to get serious.
Jokes are good, you know. But in fact, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know that I have any clean ones.
Well, now you've already got your jokes.
That was my joke out of the way. All right. You know, when I was playing baseball at Duke University, and this was back in the early 90s, I was coming out of left field trying to make a play. And I ended up tripping over this rock. And I'm sitting there, I missed the play, I'm embarrassed, everybody's staring at me, kind of like right now. And I literally laid there and looked at this rock and I was like, man, that doesn't belong here. That needs to be somewhere else. And I got a little closer look and it reminded me of the early 80s when we used to have pet rocks. I don't know, can I get a show of hands of how many people had pet rocks in the 80s? Did you name your rock? What was your rock?
Brushy.
Brushy, because rocks have lots of hair. And what was your rock's name? And Roxanne. So you know, it really, it made it very clear that there was a problem, because we used to have pet rocks, but now we don't. And it made me aware that these pet rocks have become extinct. So I decided to change my major right there in left field while I'm laying on my face with this rock under my chin. And I decided that I was going to study geology, and I was going to bring the pet rock back. So that really brought the question, why did they disappear in the first place? Where did your pet rock, Fluffy, what was Brushy?
Brushy.
Where did Brushy live?
Well, Brushy originally came from the creek behind my parents' house, but it then lived underneath my swing set.
Under your swing set. So
That was his home.
it gets to my point. We didn't have proper habitat. We took them out of their natural surroundings. We put them in shoe boxes with paper, with the shelves in our room. Did anybody paint the rock? How in the heck is a rock going to breathe? Did you know that all the oxygen that you take into your body does not come through your mouth or your nose? You actually absorb oxygen through your skin. I think it's somewhere around 30% of your oxygen absorbed through your skin. If someone painted your whole body in some kind of iridescent day glow, I look good on the shelf, rock paint, could you breathe?
Awesome.
I'll be here for another day and a half. On my own session.
I love it. I love it. That was great. That was great. Well, hey, listen, guys. Remember at the beginning I said I'm going to teach you guys all I can, and then at the end I'm going to create an opportunity where, for those of you that might want to take your training further, or perhaps you want to take your training, back to the office. I mean, obviously there's only so much that we could do here in a little breakout session, but I want you guys to know, because I am so appreciative that Terry gave me an opportunity to come up here and speak to you today on this topic. Also, my father, talked about earlier, he's an electrical contractor, so I'm very, very connected to the whole electrical world, and I decided to do something very, very special. If anybody here really is serious about becoming that level 10 speaker, and you say, you know what, I want to do this in 2014, I want myself, or maybe my team, we want to get to that level 10, because again, Warren Buffett said it's the best investment he's ever made. So if anybody here says, you know what, I'd like to learn a little bit more, then I want you guys to know that you, for the rest of 2014, we're going to do something very special. We're going to apply to any type of training that we provide, and we do like to customize it. We're going to provide a 25% discount that will be exclusively to members of the GEMC, and because you guys are here at this conference. So with that said, I just want to kind of close it up here. There we go. And there's 6 P's. How many? 6. 6 P's of effective presentation. They are